Hello, 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 and welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here literally every single day of the year, and I have been for years. I'm here to take your political questions. Just leave your political questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers who keep us safe. Thank you. And we have got a fantastic community because of your kindness. You have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back at a higher speed, or whatever works for you. So hello, everybody. I am starting with just this lovely, beautiful, we've got some primary colors, secondary colors, just bold colors today, because we need this happiness, this high vibration area. Yeah, because there's other stuff going on too. Okay, let's just jump in. Hello, hello. Yes, Warrior Witch. Hi, peeps, living in this incredibly stupid and asinine dystopia. Why, yes. Hello. Okay, so I wanted to start with the photograph at 1 minute 40 seconds in, a new photograph that I think we need to just have a quick look at, because on today's episode, Kristi Noem toured the El Salvadoran mega prison that is holding the Venezuelan we illegally deported, so she could have a photo op. Trump has tasked JD Vance, Shady Vancey Pants, with rooting out distorted narratives at the Smithsonian. What could go wrong? And Elise Stefanik's appointment to the UN has been rescinded so she can keep her House seat. Oh, are there troubles? Are there troubles in electoral paradise? Let's have a look. But we're going to start with the most vile. I even made a graphic. Would you like to see it? I know you don't want to see it, but I made a graphic, and I'm going to move over here because it takes up a lot of space. So Kristi Noem. If you don't remember Kristi Noem, perhaps you remember the story about her unaliving a dog. Yeah, it was her. That's her. Yeah. So she decided to go down to El Salvador. Yes, she did. Where the supposed gang members were sent. Even though there's no proof, they had no due process. There's actually no, there's little to no idea that they were in any kind of gang. And there's no reason why they shouldn't have gotten due process and eventually sent back to their own country. Not something that looks so much like, okay, here's some, malnourished, nearly naked people with shaved heads crammed onto these racks. Where have we seen that before? Trying to remember. But she showed up in her beachy waves. I mean, seriously, look at that hair. Is she traveling with a hair and makeup person, or is that just she just had them curled just so she has her beachy waves and just her carefully half tucked shirt, very fashionable, not to be fully tucked in or fully out. Tam says someone said she also had on a $60,000 watch. Gosh, I'd be shocked. I've got to turn on this auto exposure. What the heck? There we go. A little more human. Yeah. So, yeah, all of them should be ashamed. Yeah. So, yeah. Tim was going to say, I was going to say hair extensions as well. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Dorinda says hair extensions pulled forward over his shoulders. Could be. So yeah, we're gonna start with reading on her, but I thought you might want to see this photo op that she went for. Oh, why are they wearing masks? Why are some of them wearing masks? Because of the diseases that this will foster by cramming this many people, this many malnourished people into a very, very tight space. Yeah. Yeah, she is particularly, it's actually hard for me to put into words how much I despise this woman. But let's have a look at Kristi Noem. Louis says, I see they traded their hoods for a blue hat. I'm surprised she's wearing a blue hat. Why isn't she wearing a red hat? Sabine says, Ben from Midas Touch Network says she's a cosplayer. Cindy Lou says, yes, those are hair extensions. My granddaughter does them for others. Oh, so the beachy waves aren't even real? I mean, I can say one thing for myself, and I don't have any problem with hair extensions or hair pieces or any of that, but I can say this is real. This is mine. But she has no authenticity. But again, I don't have any problem with hair extensions and all of that. But I'm not, I don't know, standing in what is effectively a concentration camp with people who've had no due process. Queen of Swords. Oh, she's so big and tough. I'm trying so hard to be even remotely reasonable, but it is, I'm finding it nearly impossible to keep the disgust out of my voice. And she's backed by that scumbag. I'm just, it's hard to express how much I dislike her. Judgment, bad judgment. The world. So it's not only in front of the world, but sending these people to a random country just because, and paying that random country just because, just to be cruel, just because they are going to be the most vile. There's the government. All major arcana. Ace of Pentacles. And this cruelty is expensive. Millions. We are giving El Salvador millions of dollars for this cruelty. I am getting King of Cups, which is decent people being able to step forward and help the people who were here, who were sent there unlawfully. I do not see how I don't see how our tax dollars should be going to pay for an El Salvadoran cruelty factory. I don't think so. So, yeah. Kristi Noem toured the El Salvadoran mega prison that is holding the Venezuelans we illegally deported. She had a photo op, as one pundit noted, quote, if you ever wondered what the Gestapo would look like in 2025, wonder no longer, unquote. What the heck? So, what is the future at 10 minutes in? goodness, what is going on here? I'm having a small technical issue. There we go. 10 minutes in. The future of Kristi Noem. Cruelty Noem. Sabine's asking perhaps a nice hearing with the senators. Oh, good. Lisa says Gestapo Barbie. Yeah, her and MTG. Exactly. And if I sound disgusted, it is not at you. It's not anybody here in the chat. Seriously, I'm sorry if I come across that way. I'm just disgusted by what they are doing. I am grateful you're here going through the news with me, because going through this by yourself is really, really hard. As a kimchi turns, exactly. That's because they think nobody can touch them. Mary is saying death camp guard Barbie. Well, right now she's sitting pretty. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Louis. Oh, there's going to be some accountability down the road. Right now, yeah, she is deep in white supremacy land. Yeah. 8 of Pentacles. Those people should not be there. Just day-to-day work, just a day at the office or day with a photo op under false pretenses and general illegality, misuse of resources. 9 of Cups. There will be questions at some point, but Queen of Pentacles. Unfortunately, this isn't going to end tomorrow. Which is most vexing. I know that we looked at her a long time ago. I was when the dog story came out, and her progressed sun was in Capricorn, and it went into Capricorn, which is about working status in the world, working your way up the ladder, and her progressed sun went into Capricorn when she was in college, and her father passed away. Unfortunately, I would not wish that on anyone. But her father passed away, and she inherited the farm, the family farm. So she was suddenly, her status went from college student to farm owner, and then she got into politics as well, and but that was 30 years ago, and now her progressed sun has moved into Aquarius, which is about everything she's not doing right now. Aquarius is about humanitarianism, individuality, fostering a community, really fostering individuality, but it's about community, technology, humanitarianism. And she's just I guess you can go against your chart and the energy in the chart for a while, but it's not a good way to prosper. Although some people would say, hey, she's living her best Gestapo Barbie life. Well, that's good. Right now, the Chariot, but it feels like the wheels are bumpy, making things very bumpy. The more and more of this stuff that happens, the worse, the more that they end up on the defensive. I do, at least for what it's worth, I'm not saying that decency is always going to win out in the courts, but it does feel like the courts are continuing to make sure things don't go well for Dumpy. Page of Swords, that's very weak. That's bullying, but it's not strong. And then we got a Tower card. And haven't you seen, those of you who are here all the time, thank you for that. Thank you for joining me. We've been getting a whole lot of really nasty major arcana cards for the Trump administration coming up, haven't we? It's been an ongoing thing. So, yeah. Vile. Vile, vile. All right, moving on. A bit of history next. At 1615. Okay. Acadian Proud was bringing up this history of Magnus Hirshfield. Great name. He created the Institute for, I have to be careful what I say on YouTube, actual science, intimacy science, in Germany in the early 1900s. The Institute pioneered research and treatment for various matters regarding gender, including gay, transgender, and intersex topics. It held the world's largest library on these topics, including thousands of one-of-a-kind historical texts. And the man with the ugly mustache had it dismantled and burned. Surprise. So Dumpy has, the dumpster has tasked JD Vance with rooting out distorted narratives at the Smithsonian. Will we lose artifacts and knowledge that we can't get back? Okay, I've got this other image. I was going to save it for this weekend, but I think I might have to pull it up now. Yeah, okay, we're just going to use this. All right, so supposed to root out distorted narratives. Yeah, distorted, huh? Yes, there is a partial solar eclipse tomorrow, and Saturn goes into, no, Neptune goes into Aries on Friday. Yeah. Little tiny hands, little tiny feet. There's a push-pull. This could potentially be very bad. I guess the good news is that the staggering woman hater that is JD Vance, he's busy. Day late and a dollar short. He's very busy. Will he try to be destructive? Possibly. But my understanding is that they don't have the power to completely get rid of huge swaths of the Smithsonian. That there are boards in place. I'm sure they can do some damage, but I have this feeling that because they end up on the defensive here, but there is some damage done. So, Amy Jones says, I slept great last night, but I had strange dreams. So did I. Yeah. Anne says, don't mess with the curators of a museum. Yep. Cindy Lou says, I'll say it again. Can I go home now? I know. So it's not looking great, but it doesn't look as bad as it could be for what it's worth. At least next we're about to go into the question about, things aren't going well electronically or electorally for them. All right. Well, there's a plan. Nine of Pentacles. They think they can do anything they want. They just dumpster, and these people think they can do anything they want. I just feels like they can't. And why am I once again ending on a major arcana negative card? Yeah, this is, and a lot of this is just stirring things up. Yeah, he can probably do some damage, but it feels like there are some barriers. I'm getting an image of as if, like, I'm standing in the Smithsonian in one of those super long wood paneled rooms that are nicely lit with all the different displays of things, and it just feels like it's actually a pin, the inside of a pinball machine, where there's this big silver ball that's rolling through, loudly rumbling, but it's like as soon as it starts bouncing off the different displays, it's chaotic, and it's not effective in what it's doing, and it just gets thrown off course. I hope that made sense. All right, so let's move on to, and I can't look at that face anymore. Let's go back to the pretty flowers. Oh, okay. Okay, at 22:35. Okay, so Elise Stefanik was the dumpster put Elise Stefanik up to be appointed to the UN. Well, that's been rescinded. Why? So it can be guaranteed to keep her seat in the House and keep the Republicans very, very slim majority. Boo Boo's over here sleeping. During the Stay Calm live stream earlier, he was snoring through most of the meditation. Anyway, excuse me. So Elise Stefanik's appointment to the UN was rescinded yesterday evening so that she could help retain the House's slim GOP majority. Will that be enough? Because there are lots of special elections coming up. This doesn't, it doesn't look good for them. First of all, they've lied about what Democrats are about. Because, yes, we believe in equality. Yes, we believe that people should be able to love whom they want to love. And frankly, the majority of us couldn't care less what your gender is, or if you decide you have none. I don't care. Good for you. Help yourself. And it says 4 empty seats. The biggie is April 1st in Florida. April 1st is not very far away. But the reality is that Democrats, we're the ones who clean up the economic mess that the Republicans leave. For actually having a government that actually cares about people, actually keeps your Social Security intact, gets Medicaid, tries to get you better health care, actually works out a budget that is not just a whole bunch of money funneled to the ultra rich. You have to vote for Democrats. So they've been lying about what our Democratic stances are. And they've been getting into office, King of Swords. But now they have been wrecking things, adding insult to injury, just bad and worse and worse. And then you get the not only the Knight of Swords, legislative action and government action and insult, but then you get MAGA craziness, which makes even their lies about Democrats pale by comparison. Because the card for the reading is Tower. So this just gets worse and worse for them. Jane Doe says the gerrymandering has to stop. Yes. Whew. Hello, Dad. Amy Jones says, I grow a lovely yellow rose that smells divine, but I struggle to keep Japanese beetles from eating them. Oh, the Turkish flower is my favorite, but every part of it, there's not a single part of it that's poisonous, unlike most plants, which means everything eats it. So please understand, tomorrow is a partial solar eclipse, which is a whole lot of energy. But even more than that, I know it's the sun and the moon, they're the luminaries, they're the big things in the sky, but it's more rare when you get the outermost planet that astronomers recognize changing signs. And that is happening tomorrow. No, Sunday, day after tomorrow, for the first time since 2011, I think, Neptune first went into its own sign of Pisces. This is a big deal. The energy starting next week may start to feel very different. So with us having these special elections, let me what is it, 28 minutes? Yeah, 28 minutes. Special elections and astrology. I'm not looking at a chart necessarily, just pointing out that Neptune is about our culture, and it can be everything from TV shows to fashion to what we talk about, the fads that come along. It's the immaterial. It's also spirituality and all of this. Well, Neptune is going into Aries, which is the martial sign. Doesn't mean we're going to have martial law necessarily. It suddenly goes from Neptune in its own house, Neptune in the sea, Neptune all about the immaterial, and you couldn't nail people down, and Trump lying, but you couldn't just go, he's a liar, nail it down. He is a liar. And everyone go, yes, he is a liar. You get all this wishy-washy stuff, which is great for art, but it's horrible for trying to bring people into reality. But we're going into a much more forceful, straightforward and active sign. Warrior Witch says Neptune can represent the entertainment industry too. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Warrior Witch says, so we have Pluto in Aquarius, which happened during the American and French revolutions, and Neptune in Aries, which happened during the Civil War. Yikes. Yep. Yeah. And we're getting Saturn. Saturn's going to move up to conjunct Neptune this summer. And Uranus is moving into a new sign too, to Gemini. And they are all those outer planets, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, all of them within the space of about a year or so will have changed signs, and they are all aspecting each other. This amount of astrological energy has not happened in human recorded history. Recorded human history. Oh, may we not live in interesting times. Thank you. Could we live in some boring times, please? Marx is a strong X-flare solar plasma to impact the Earth starting tomorrow. Neptune's going into Aries, the first sign, the cardinal sign, the fire sign, and the sun itself. Yeah. Republicans misjudged. Their aggressiveness, obnoxiousness, cruelty, all of that the rest of us understood from jump. Theft, bludgeoning, awfulness. There's our country, leaving our country poor, isolated, and you had to go mess with Social Security. Of all the things, you had to mess with Social Security. It's the third rail for a reason. Yeah, and hold on and fasten your seatbelt. Yes. Deb Hope says, I'm sensing big changes. It is a queasy feeling. Oh, I'm sorry about that. As I keep telling you, your job, should you choose to accept it during these couple of years of big change, is to stay as calm and stable throughout as you can. Practice, keep your feet on the ground. And I say that as someone with no earth in my chart. But no, seriously, calm. Cook healthy food, whatever you can. Be sensible and calm. As steady. That's the best thing you can do for your health, for the people around you. I know you're going to be kind, but steady is going to be the word. All right, 3 more cards and then we'll move on. I've got questions for today. Do put your questions in the chat before I come on, please. But also, I don't know that I want to read on unaliving attempts, to be honest. So we'll see. Maybe. We'll see. Those are big policies, big votes. Trump's legacy of cruelty, of bludgeoning, and People leaving. Okay. It will be, we will all be very happy when political gravity reasserts itself. That will be lovely. And the only good news is that there is no actual full-blown successor for the dumpster. There will be people jockeying for position. There could be some people who are popular. But this is a cult of personality. And chances are extremely high that we are going to outlive him. I do not wish any. No, you know me. No violence. No. I do not wish. I'm not in a hurry for this jerk to become a martyr. I don't wish unaliving on anyone. Unless it's like Putin. If there's no way, no how that there's any way for there to be any justice. And with the amount of people he is unaliving, that, well, que sera, sera, as far as I'm concerned. But these others, no. Anyway, okay. So at 36:45, Cosmic Goat Lady was asking, is the staff briefing... Oh, is his staff briefing the Mange, the orange Mange, or at least reading reports to him? He seems totally out of the loop. Are they running the country without him? Lou says, live by the sword? Yeah. Live by cruelty? Okay. So we are... All right, adding insult to injury. This was... The dumb dumpster has not exactly hired the best people. It's a comedy of stupidity. It is a dark, dark comedy of stupidity that luckily right now, at least to some extent, the judicial is holding to some extent. 10 of Cups. Chaos, Moon. He is a bludgeon, not a scalpel. Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Pentacles. On the one hand, you have to run things by him. On the other hand, he doesn't want to know. 1, he wants plausible deniability. 2, he wants to go golfing. He doesn't care. But if you want to come to him with stories about how you found new ways to be cruel and awful and make him money, oh, he's all for that. But running things by him, yes and no. Listening to his advisors briefing him, snooze fest. Do you remember from his the first administration where they had to put him in the articles? They did like show articles or create things that included him directly so he could see his own name. Otherwise, he wasn't interested. That hasn't gotten better. So it's the chaos, the stupidity. Oh, yeah, it's a thing. And then even if you tell him some things and he decides to act, he micromanages badly. So, but yeah, if you've got a new way for him to make money or you just be cruel and awful, Oh, he's down. Lewis says he's too busy looking for portraits of himself to criticize. Yes. Well, it's time for these pesky 300 million people. I know, right? Anne's wondering if the Daily Brief is a coloring book. I love that. That is awesome. Make the Daily Brief a coloring book. There we go. Okay, at 40. Kiki's Den had a question at 40, 50. Okay. There's some gossip. There's some buzz that perhaps there is a discontented DOGE staffer. DOGE, Dodge, dumb. Will they sing like a canary? She said, sitting between the canary yellow roses. I agree, Jeff. I love you people. I agree. All right. Discontented. Well, to some extent, there already have been. I mean, there have been some people who left. They said, well, I'm not going to be a part of dismantled. Well, it's more. Okay, anyway, but there have been some people who've put their foot down and said, I'm not going to help dismantle basic structural things. Yeah, Amy says they've already had 20 of them quit on moral grounds. Yeah. But is anyone going to yap? I'm not seeing a lot. I mean, there might be some people, but you're not likely to get that close to Elon Musk and the dumpster and all of them if you're a good person. So some left, but that's just crashing through destruction. But there's some temperance in the middle. But there's a far right victory, and yeah, this is the people. This is dumpster's base of power. Yeah, there's people will leave, but they're not necessarily gonna. I wouldn't hold my breath. Maybe there might be some at some point who writes a book, but I wouldn't hold my breath. So, okay. At next, and Lisa, I thank you for giving me not only a very funny question, but also a really easy one. I do believe this may be the easiest question I have been given in years. So Lisa Wiley asked me, do you think that Hogsbreath guy, Hegseth, that Hogsbreath guy is drinking on the job? Yes. Oh, you want me to read the cards? What is that thing that is it to go this way? Gills and sorry, I can't do it very well. Oh boy. Hegseth. I like that choice. Yeah, this was, let's say, poor judgment. The center card is 6 cups. Hold please. Let me grab my rack of cards here. I want to show you in the Housewives deck. Where can I put this? I'll just put it on my lap for now. One moment. Hold please. Talk amongst yourselves. It's going to be one of the blue-edged cards. There it is, Six of Cups. In the Housewife's deck, the Six of Cups looks like that. Yeah. Yeah. That's the center card. So, bad judgment. Cups and cups and cups, which is part of how you end up with a Chariot and a Justice card. Major arcana of he is headed for disaster. And I'm hoping he doesn't take a chunk, he doesn't take members of our military or just chunks of our country down with him. Correct me if I'm wrong, I am 99.9% certain that I heard during his confirmation, I heard the words come out of his mouth, well, if I get this job, I'll stop drinking. Really? There's a question about the possibly being an alcoholic, being drunk on the job, and the bad decisions you've made in the past, and your response on national television at a confirmation hearing for you to get this job is, if I get this job, I'll stop drinking. Which also assumes if I don't get this job, I won't. Which makes it more likely that if you get this job, you're not going to stop drinking. Lewis says, and then he said, I'll drink to that. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Anyway, but that was, thank you for that very easy question. Seriously, that was good. All right. Put this back in the little rack of cards I keep over here. All right. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Julie, I'm going to roll your question over to tomorrow because I think it's going to lead to other questions, and I'm not going to have time today. And I want to make sure I give you your question full time that it deserves. So let's move on to some questions I think I can answer in a more timely manner for today. 4820. Kristen from Uncover the News. Thank you. The Alberta PM, Danielle Smith, defends U.S. diplomatic efforts in the face of national criticism. Why is she pro-dumpster? Is she a traitor? Danielle Smith. All right, Danielle Smith, what the heck? Where are you? All right, I do not know this woman. I don't know what she looks like. I didn't have time to look her up, I'm afraid. I'm assuming she's fairly mean. She's just she's one of those people, she's one of those women who thinks that if you're high up in the patriarchy, then, well, you're the exception. And as a woman, you won't be Leopards won't eat my face. There she is, sitting pretty. Hemming people in, stalling out, whatever. It's a reaction in the face of she despises democratic, more liberal, I should say, beliefs. In the face of the rise of any of that, she thinks she's holding out that money as if it would ward off any of those crazy liberal ideas. It's, I'm not saying she has the gravitas or the same place in history, but there's a little, there's some Margaret Thatcher energy here. Lewis says she's on the Leopard's Uber Eats. Yeah. GD says Danielle Smith is trying to protect Alberta but has no long-term vision. Well, this is someone who has very little vision at all. So, just having a quick look. Oh, yeah, you. I love your username. She's an oil woman made in the industry. That would do it. We are reading on the Alberta PM Danielle Smith, who is defending U.S. diplomatic efforts in the face of national criticism. Diplomatic efforts. That's adorable. She's siding with Trump. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think Margaret Thatcher light. That's what we're dealing with. And Margaret Thatcher famously despised women. And the kind of intellectual disconnect you have to wow. Okay. So, okay. All right. And next we have got, all right, Norma, we were asking about the special elections earlier, so that's there. Tammy Bailey's been asking for a day or two about 70,000 South Africans have applied for refugee status in the U.S. Will the majority be allowed in? I'm going to guess that many of them have skin tone more similar to mine. Considering my father's a carrot top redhead. And my mother's family is from Slovenia and Croatia. I'm going to guess that the people in South Africa that are trying to flock to the U.S., will the majority be allowed in? And says depends on their color. Ding, 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 ding. But let's see. What's what the cards have to say. This energy is so gross. This energy is so gross. Ugh. Seriously, what the heck? This is nasty energy. Whew. Oh, okay. Some of the people, these are some of the most vile human beings you will ever meet in your entire life. Let's put it this way. And then I'm getting out of this energy. Let's just put it this way. Maybe Wheel of Fortune. It depends how long the dumpster and his grossness are in place, but he's dismantling so much of anybody, the apparatus allowing anybody to come to this country, that So it'd be one thing to say, okay, we want these people, not those people. But when you are dismantling the system that would allow anybody in, it gets a little more dodgy. Okay, but beyond that, this magician card, okay, this card is about using your resources. Okay, you know, I talk about Pluto changing signs, and it defines the era, kind of, right? The U.S. Civil War happened when Pluto was in Taurus. Okay, Taurus is about ownership of things, material resources, materialism, objects. That's what this feels like. And yes, they want to come to America. This is some of the grossest energy, and I'm walking away from it. Get off. Yeah, I'm going to dig out my sage. That's disgusting. All right, I'm stopping there. Okay. I'll do a card for us, but then I'm gonna literally, I need to go in there and dig out some sage. Claude? That's a little more straightforward way of putting what I just went through. So, grab boo-boo quick, says Joyce. I love that. Well, always, any chance. All right, card for us. Ugh. Card for us. We are better than that. Our country is better than that. And for all the talk that Dumpy says he has a mandate, he does not. Not even close. More, which is Bays and Purell. Yeah. Just go grab a bottle of rubbing alcohol and just... By the way, don't do that. I'm joking. That was a joke. That could unalive you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Look, it ends in the 10 of Cups. Happy democratic families. Right now, we're seeing, this is a card for the reading, which is a whole lot of just destruction, chaos that the Emperor brings. But it ends in the 10 of Cups. Oh yeah, these dogs are having their days, not to insult dogs. But there are too many of us who care, who are like, no. We've learned from history, and we vote. So we're in the middle of watching this, and we're probably more upset about it than a lot of people who even should be, because we're looking. But there are a lot of people looking. There are a lot of people who are against this. And in a country where during the last election, according to what they say, what would it be? 140, 152 million people voted? 152 million people voted during the last presidential election. And at least 75 million of those voted against this. Really hard to create an authoritarian state when nearly half of the voting public is just strongly against what you're doing. Same way you can't occupy a country that despises you to that extent. So hang in there. Hang in there. And that's true, Chris School. One of the problems is math. 1930s, the German population was a fraction compared to the US population now. The US population was less than half of what it is now. Seriously. I want to say there were about 150 million people in the US during World War II. Now there are like 340 million. Yeah, good luck. Good luck on that authoritarian thing. Yeah, no. All right. Hang in there. It'll be a little while, Hope. We're still in the middle of this, but don't give up. Don't think that. No. They're not going to win. They can stomp around and be a bull in a china shop, but it won't last forever. It just won't. All right. So hang in there, please. Please remember you're not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead. And now it is 1:11 p.m. here in Chicago. I'm going to do post-production, get that out, sorted, and I'm going to have probably some peanut butter on the homemade whole wheat bread I made. And then this afternoon, I'm going to work on my newsletter, the first newsletter for Book Art Media, which will include Black and Orange, and be productive and not think about the news. And then tomorrow, I'll be right back here with more news, with things sorted out, with graphics, with you, and we'll go through the news together. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. We'll go through the news together, and then we'll be productive. And we're just going to rinse, repeat, okay? You're not alone. So hang in there, and I will see you later. All right. Bye. Oh, and with the solar eclipse and Neptune changing signs this weekend, breathe. There may be some crazy energy. And don't forget, tomorrow night is Patreon. So you can come and see people face to face and talk directly to people. So links in the description. And I'll see you tomorrow here, and I'll see you tomorrow night. All right. Bye.